This looks like a thoroughly American scene, but it's actually Frankfurt an der Oder in eastern Germany. 20 years ago, this was behind the Berlin Wall. Now one of the sponsors of this football team is an American company, First Solar, which manufactures photovoltaic panels. After German reunification, the uncompetitive microchip industry in this town on the Polish border collapsed. Thousands were left jobless. So Frankfurt an der Oder decided to reinvent itself as a solar city and was anxious to woo international investment.
We developed a lot of infrastructure. We had very well qualified people here in the region. The subsidies are very interesting. And all in all, it was a right offer, for instance, for First Solar. And that was a first reach success for us to develop the new economic platform.
First Solar is now one of the town's biggest employers. Its arrival halted an exodus of young people moving away to look for work.
I probably would have been forced to leave, but now I can stay with my girlfriend and my family, and that's good. You notice the whole economy is doing better in Frankfurt because of this company.
The move here of an American company was seen as key to building up the new green economy. It attracted other photovoltaic plants, creating thousands of new jobs. And a whole ecosystem of suppliers has built up. This taxi service, for instance, has doubled in size since the solar industry came.
Small companies like ours have got work because of this, and people in Frankfurt are happy because there are new jobs in the solar companies.
The move to Europe for First Solar was an obvious one. The German market in renewable energy was far more developed than the US, helped in no small part by the system of feed-in tariffs in Germany, which allows individuals to sell any excess green energy they produce into the grid.
It's really important for countries to learn from each other, above all. I mean, the US had some of the first promotion of renewable energies when Jimmy Carter put solar panels on the White House roof, and then that went stale after a while. And now we feel that Germany is giving back in a way by promoting ideas that could be applied in the United States as well. So a lot of the feed-in tariff ideas are not directly applicable to the United States on a national level, but individual states and local communities are looking at this very, very intensively and like the ideas.
First Solar is now expanding its partnership with Europe. With the German company, it's constructing one of the world's largest solar farms just south of Berlin. The site is a former Soviet military training ground. 20 years after the end of the Cold War, this is a partnership between Germany and the US, which is about building a new sort of future. And it demonstrates why the transatlantic partnership matters, particularly in the current crisis. Something like 14 million jobs depend on the link-up. And now leaders on both sides of the Atlantic are putting new emphasis on not just traditional economic ties, but also on developing wealth and jobs through the green economy.
I believe that the relation is more important than ever, precisely because of the crisis. European Union and United States relationship in economic terms is the most important one in the world. I hope that our relation is not only on economic terms, it's also on political and also on the very important issues regarding the future of our planet. I welcome the steps taken by the Obama administration in the climate change agenda.
In the US, in the shadow of the Rocky Mountains, is one American state which is already developing its own green economy, Colorado. Where European prospectors once went for gold, these days they realize there's money in going for green.
There it is.
EU and US partnerships are getting well established here. Already European investors have moved into the wind power industry to be part of what the state governor is calling his new energy economy.
The United States and Europe can find ways to work together that are about job creation, creating companies that are clean companies and provide for sort of a different energy future. We need to inspire innovation, and not just innovation for the sake of our own country, but for the sake of the globe. We need to be willing to find ways to share those technologies, to make it part of our trade relationship.
This Denver biofuel company is an example of the EU and US working together for a new energy future. Gevo has won major European financial backing for its development of high-octane renewable fuel from agricultural waste. This isobutanol can then be converted into an exact chemical copy of jet fuel or gasoline and put straight into the fuel tank. The company's been working with researchers at a Belgian university and has excited a lot of interest, not least from two big European investors, the French oil giant Total and Richard Branson's Virgin Green Fund.
Europe understands the issues around greenhouse gases. They've had a longer time to think about it, and they're more tuned into environmental issues. So in many ways, it's easier to have a conversation with people from a European background, or companies from a European background, than it is from the States. They value it differently. So we get lots of interest from Europe. I'm sure we'll have customers who buy our products. I would be at all surprised some of the very first customers are in Europe.
Throughout Colorado, investments and jobs in the clean energy field are growing at a much faster pace than the traditional sector. There's increasing recognition on both sides of the Atlantic that growing the green economy can kickstart the global recovery, at the same time as tackling the problems of climate change. And recognition, too, that the transatlantic partners need to work together to make it happen.